So the first question is, what is Kubernetes? What is Kubernetes? So when we talk about the Kubernetes, we talk about Kubernetes is a container orchestrations. Okay, container orchestrations. So orchestrations is what? So I think you have already studied the Docker well. So you know that Docker only manages the container inside the host. So this is the one host, and there's another host which we have. There's another host which we have. Okay, and then typically Docker is installed here. Docker is installed here and here. So now here you have a one container, two container, three container. Another one container, two container, three container. Here one container, two container, three container. So now Docker manages these containers, and this Docker manages the disk container, and this Docker manages the disk container. So if you look at the data centers, you don't have three machines, you have 3,000 machines actually. Okay, and 30,000 containers you are running it. So are we having anyone who can manage all these machines? Are you understanding the problems? Orchestration? All of you? Hello?
Yeah, Rajesh.
Yeah. So that is the place where the Kubernetes is coming. Kubernetes is saying, hey, not to worry, I will manage this host also, this host also, this host also. So now you are the person, you manage the Kubernetes, and Kubernetes manage entire data center. So now I'm not dragging and complicating this, but you know what? Kubernetes can manage all your host, all these containers, all these volumes, all the storage, all the networking, all the load balancing services, security, many things can managed by Kubernetes. So that is the reason we call it Kubernetes orchestrations tool. So here most of the time this is for the production use actually. Remember that. Yeah, being in operations, you will use it. Though you can create a Kubernetes cluster in your laptop also. You can create in Q environment, dev environment, and production environment. But the real use cases of Kubernetes is in data center. Okay. So whatever we do, we do for learning purpose, not more than that. Okay. So now we understand at a high level what is the Kubernetes and why do we need it. Now Kubernetes architecture. Okay, Kubernetes architecture. So what is the Kubernetes architecture? So here we are, this is me, okay, and we call it workstation, okay, and this is our laptop, you can say. And laptop send the instruction to master, control plane we call it, control plane or master plane, right, PLAN, plane. And this control plane send the instruction to worker. So we send to the control plane to send it to worker. So now in the workstation, what we have, so in the workstation, we have one utility which is installed, which we have a kubectl. And kubectl need to know the address of control plane. So how exactly that is? So that is they get it from .kube config. This is the locations of the file. This is a file which we configure. I will show you that user home. And this is the file where that address of this control plane you have. Okay. So you have to install this one, you have to configure this one, and your workstation is equal to laptop, etc. Are you comfortable with it, all of you?
Yeah, Rajesh.
Now, what is the component control plane? So sometimes we call it a master server also. Okay. So in the master server, we have a lots of component. Okay. So I must tell you here. So some of the tools which we have, which include kubectl, yes. Kubelet you have, kubelet, Docker you have, container D you have, what else? KubeADM you have. So these are the tools which you have in the, and there's some applications. The applications means API server, etcd, which is database, etcd. We have controller manager also, we have controller manager, scheduler also. These are the applications SCHEDULR scheduler and proxy server also we have. So these are the apps, these are the tools which we have in the control plane. Okay. Now in the worker, what we have? Worker machines. So worker machines we have. Let me tell you. So worker machines we have all the tools, but in terms of this one, only we have this one. This is the combination. So that means if I'll put it in this way, if you want to set up a control plane, install these tools and get this application up and running, that is control plane. Worker, if you want to set, install all these tools and get this proxy up and running, and done. So are you able to understand the component wise what are the tools? Now I'll teach you what are the tools which we need and why we need it. So I know that a little bit of confusion you will have it for sure, but just get in the flow. So this is the laptop, okay, and this is a master server, and this is the worker. Worker, you have a too many worker, but right now for the drawing purpose I'm creating only one. So now what you have, so these are the tools you have actually. Okay, so in the here you have, these are the tools. Just a second. Okay, so now this is the tools. Okay, so here these are the tools you have. Let me copy paste these tools in worker also. Okay, so this is the master or control plane, and this is the worker. Now, so here we have a, which I said, no? Here you have a kubectl. Where is the kubectl? Here. So this is the kubectl, and talk to, you know what? Talk to API server, which is here. So this API server I'll create in block. This is the applications. So this is a API server. Now API server, whatever you request, uh, API server, this stored, whatever the request you send is stored in etcd. Etcd is a database, okay? And then controller manager, we have one code which checks the all the stats and stats of the cluster, who's working, who's not working, and scheduler, which again I'm on a more application which assigned to kubelet, this kubelet for the work. Okay, kubelet. Now what is a kubelet? Kubelet is important component. Kubelet is an agent actually. Okay, so which is running in the each server, because of that whole clusters works and effectively move on. And here you have a proxy pod, which is, here you have proxy also, here also you have a proxy. So this proxy is networking services. One liner I'll say, API server which manages all the functionality of Kubernetes. etcd is a database. Controller manager, you can say, is like a monitoring component of Kubernetes. Scheduler to schedule the work to the worker. Proxy is networking services. kubectl is to connect to the API server. So here kubectl, here you connect to API server, and here you have a kubectl also connect to API server. Here also you have kubectl to connect to API server, and then kubelet is the agent which is working in the each worker and master. Docker container, do you know that for creating container? And kubedium is administrator command to set up a cluster. That means kubedium init, if you do here, then it will set up all this component in the master, this component, and kubedium join, if you do this, it will set up this proxy component in the worker. That means join command will create a worker, init command will create a master. Are you able to understand that, all of you, at a high level? Hello.
It is not very clear about this controller and worker.
Yeah, so these all are the software. I'll put it because even though if I explain it to you, probably you'll not understand, but at a intro level, which I am stating it to you right now. But if you, let's say, if you want to know more detail about only these apps, okay, so I have a 2 to 3 hours, 3 hours of lecture in the LMS. You can just go through that. But for time being, what I'm saying, in order to make a master, these all applications required. In order to create a worker, you need require a proxy. In order, and these tools are common for every master and worker. In order to make a workstation, you need a kubectl and this file. Uh, I want you to read that much only for time being. Get
Okay.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now this worker can be multiple. Now the question is, how do I set up this? How do I set up this? So here you can set up in CentOS also. You can set up in the Linux also. So here I have all the script ready. This will set up in the Ubuntu 20.04. Okay, mind it. By the way, if you want more setup instruction like CentOS, Ubuntu other version, or EKS, or many other ways, you have a tutorials available on the same place. So now I want you to focus on this part. So I need to have a two machine. One is master, one is worker. Okay. So what to do? So I have this one. Okay, and clone it, and this I'll make it Kubernetes master. Done. Now I will go for one more clone, and this I will make it Kubernetes worker. Okay, if you're getting confused with the steps, do let me know. Now this is the master, this is the worker. Now what I will do, master, I will start it. Okay, so first what I'll do, go to the setting, and NAT is there, right? What I will do, enable bridge. Okay, this also I'll go setting, network bridge. Done. So guys, username is Ubuntu, I guess, right? Ubuntu, and password is Rajesh123. This is done. So no, it's not working. Rajesh123. No. Let me check. Ubuntu. So Ubuntu, password Rajesh123. RAJESH123. Oh, sorry. So Rajesh123. So username is Rajesh. Remember that. Okay. So what is IP address? So here IPA 167. That means 6.7. So here I will log into this machine. So new sessions 192.168.1.7. Yes, Rajesh123. Okay, so now I got these machines. Are you comfortable with this so far, all of you?
Yeah.
Okay, so now this machine, I'll make it a master. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll become a root first thing, and Rajesh123, and I will change the host name. What is the host name? This is Ubuntu. So how do I change the host name? So host name cpl set host name this is the command, and
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.